Hello, watch aficionados. I hope you're all really well. Watch fam and all that. Again, I'm posting today from my travel lodge. No, my travel room, my room in Jordan. So recently it's quite nice. I've had a bit of time here and there between meetings. If I finish my day early, I go home or I go back to the hotel and I think, what should I do before I go to the gym? So I just got back and recently something's been kind of, I guess, bugging me in a watch world. Reference Rolex, and I've discussed it with a few people, and they've thought the same. In fact, do a wrist watch check. Today I'm wearing the SKX 009J, the fake looking Rolex Pepsi from a distance. If you just quickly go like that, no one will know, right? But no, that's not why I wear it. I wear this watch because, well, I'll get onto that. But I wear this watch just because what? I like what it stands for. Um, as a small update since my last post, what's happened? I obviously did a kind of mini introductory review of the Tudor GMT, and that was going to be my watch, right? But I ended up flipping it just for $500 profit. I got back home. Someone offered me $500. I thought, you know what? I see these quite regularly, so I'll just pick one up another time. So I let the Tudor GMT go. It was a really nice watch. I liked it a lot. I got it all sized up as well. I kept one or two of the stickers on. That's how I was able to generate the profit on it. But in the end, just let it go. I'll pick one up another time. But at the moment, I'm kind of looking at getting a C Dweller 16600. I want to add that watch. I've wanted to add it for a while, so I think I'll take the money from the Tudor and put it into that, and then we'll see where we are. Anyway, so what did I want to touch on? I wanted to touch on Rolex and my recent, shall I say, exhaustion of it. I'm by no means a huge watch collector. I don't have tens of watches or anything like that. I've been fortunate enough to have a few Rolexes, some which are stowed away and become safe queens, and that's just it. They've become safe queens. Ones which I always knew were going to be safe queens. For example, the James Cameron Deep Sea, I always knew that was going to be a safe queen. One that was going to be a safe queen, but I ended up wearing it a lot, and it isn't a safe queen. The Sea Dweller 126600, the true 50th anniversary. So it's the Mark One dial. And there are a few others. I don't want to go into a list. So what's been happening? How did I want to position it? I've recently fallen out of love a little bit with, I guess, wearing Rolexes. I'm not quite sure what's bothering me about Rolex at the moment, but take this as an example. I'm in Jordan, and I do a lot of walking between some of my meetings. I choose to be a bit healthy, so I do some walking, and I walk through some streets which you wouldn't want to be walking through with a super expensive watch, because you just don't know, and there's crime everywhere. But you walk through it and you think, it's just nice having the SKX. It's pretty cool. If I had a Rolex, maybe a few years ago, it'd be fine as well. But that's because a few years ago, if you lost your Rolex sub, guess what? You could go to an authorized dealer and you can buy another Rolex sub. Now, you can't buy any sports models from Rolex. And it's kind of gone past the point of just being acceptable now, past the point of being funny. For years I've known that the Daytona, the Rolex Daytona, has been this really unattainable watch. It's just accepted, isn't it? It's just, oh yeah, Daytona, 10-year wait list, 8-year wait list, it's fine. I choose to accept that as well with the Nautilus, the Patek Philippe. I accept that is a very difficult watch to get. It's cool. But then when Rolex ramped things up a little bit from 2016 onwards, and you can't get any sports model, it becomes this massive Easter egg hunt where everyone's just looking to sniff one out and celebrate that they've got one. And it kind of made me think, all right, what's more exciting? Getting that Rolex Submariner, which is now difficult to get, shouldn't be, but is it more exciting getting the watch because it's so difficult to get, or getting the watch because you love that watch? And do you love that watch actually for what it is, or do you love that watch because it's so difficult to get? I mean, there are a lot of people out there who just love a watch because it's difficult to get, because we have that in our instincts. It's really difficult to get. I'll get this and I'm going to love it forever. The Daytona, so many people suddenly loving the Hulk. People who years ago when the Hulk was available, they were laughing at it. And it's like, oh no, I need to get a Hulk now. I need to get a Hulk. A really difficult watch to get, and now everyone wants it. You know, I've mentioned it before in some of my videos. You know, the Batmans, the Hulks, they were around for like a long time. I could go into shops, look at them. People were looking at them, trying them on, putting them down, buying a black sub. And then, well, we know what happened with it all. So anyway, where was I going with this? I wanted to touch on, you know, Rolex, the sports steel watches. I mean, what did they used to stand for, and what do they stand for now? They used to stand for what Tudor stand for now, Rolex sports watches. They used to stand for a very good watch, a very good tool watch, made very well, which is a little bit more expensive, or quite expensive, but you can get them. That's what the tool watches used to stand for. That's what they used to mean. And that's what Tudor are doing. I don't know if Rolex are trying to position Tudor as the old Rolex. I mean, obviously they are. But, you know, now that you cannot buy any sports model Rolex anywhere, and it's become this massive Easter egg hunt, you know, what sort of options are you faced with? You're faced with the option of waiting 1 or 2 years, or 1 year for a Submariner date, and then you get one, and you see loads of people who've had them from 2014, 2015, and they wear them, and they could have bought them any time back in 2014, 15, but because you got yours in 2019, you're like, oh, I've been so lucky to get this watch because I've been on this artificial waiting list, you know? I'm a really special person now. I don't know. That's one way to look at it, but, you know, also another thing about Rolex, you know, sports models that I've kind of fallen out of love with. It gets a little bit confusing in terms of, you know, which one to go for. You know, so many people have initial impressions of a watch when it comes out. You know, they say that the two-tone Sea Dweller is ugly, and then they say the two-tone Sea Dweller is nice in the space of a week. You know, people in the beginning used to hate the Hulk, and now they like the Hulk. You know, people seem to be so malleable, and, you know, the companies obviously know this. Rolex know this. They are plugged in. They have all plugged us into the Matrix, and they are Agent Smith, and we're like Neo, and we don't know what's happening. All we know is they're taking us down. They release a watch, and we're like, I need to get that watch because there's a special waiting list for it. Something interesting. I was talking to someone about this the other day, and he mentioned, and I saved the message because it made so much sense. You know, I said, basically, what did a Rolex Submariner used to stand for? It used to stand for a good watch that you bought, did everything, very well made. It kept most of its value, and that's what made you happy. You liked the watch. It just kept most of its value. That was the fun part of it. You know, you've taken a tiny little hit, but you're happy you're going to get 80-90% of your money back. Now, you buy a Rolex Sub in a shop, as soon as you get it, it's worth, you know, $2,000 more than you got it in a shop. You start looking at it as an investment. You don't start looking at it anymore like a watch, like something you want to wear, something you want to enjoy, something you want to spend your life with. Inadvertently, what's happened is people are now looking at watches as just investment pieces. A lot of them get them, they choose to keep the stickers on, they just keep them in the safe, deposit, sometimes take them out, take some photos, put them back in. That's not enjoying your watch. That's not saying you're a watch collector or a watch fan. Yes, what you are is you're an investor, and you're investing through alternative investments, which are watches. You could do that through many channels, but you've just chosen watches. A true, I guess, a watch person would just wear the watch and enjoy it and stuff. But this is what I wanted to get onto. I feel that Rolex have taken away me enjoying my watches as much as I used to. You know, now I buy a watch and it's worth so much more than I buy it. I might as well just sell it for the profit. Or I won't even enjoy wearing it so much because my investment brain is plugged into the market price of this watch and what's happening. And then you start looking at your watch going, actually, you're going up. I'm not going to wear you as much. I might keep you, see what happens. You might as well be strapping old Bitcoin onto your wrist and going, oh, this is great, but you know, it might go up. I don't want to damage it. I'll leave it. I'll wear it for a bit. So it's Bitcoin of old when it was skyrocketing. It's like wearing that. And I think that as great as that is for Rolex sports models, as amazing as it is for loads of people who have the money to buy it and everything, from those who want to enjoy the watch, I think it skews things a little bit, because all you ever really wanted was a watch that keeps its value, and that's it. You don't want a watch that as soon as you buy it, it's worth a lot more, you flip it, and you know, it gets a little bit messy. So that's the bit that I found a bit of a shame, that, you know, I choose not to really wear my Hulk anymore because I don't want to wear a $12,000-$13,000 watch. I don't. I can, but I don't want to. I'd rather just keep it there because it's worth that market price now. And same goes for many of my watches, other than the Sea Dweller, which I've decided the clasp on the Sea Dweller, everything. That is my, you know, that's my life watch, I guess. But that's the thought process which goes in a person's head. But so what did this guy say? He said, you know, he's enjoying wearing his Tudor 58 a lot more because, for example, when he was away recently on holiday somewhere, you know, he went to a nice place, but he didn't even feel comfortable wearing his Rolex Submariner in the streets where he went. At the same time, he didn't really feel comfortable enough to leave the Rolex Submariner in the safety deposit box in the hotel. And that is a responsibility when you take a watch out like that. And even if you do have insurance, a lot of people say, oh, but get watch insurance. Okay, have watch insurance on your Daytona, have watch insurance on your Hulk. Even if the insurance company cough up the money, you're not going to get that watch again. It's almost impossible. And this is why the watches are in such a box now, because of this hype about them, this interest. I mean, are we going through the Bitcoin phase of Rolex? I mean, how can they keep this up? I don't know. Everyone's getting excited, but you know, I just think that also when he says what he said, you know, with the B58 in this example, the Tudor Black Bay 58. Even if the worst was to happen, it got nicked, stolen, lost, he just knows that he can go to Tudor and get another Black Bay 58, and that to me is cool. That's pretty cool. And that's what the sub used to be. You know, sub, what do I want for my watch? I don't want my watch to be worth 130, 140% of the price I buy it. I don't need that. That's great. I want my investment to be that. Yeah, I want my investment to be that. But my watch, I just want my watch to be worth most of the money I bought it for, 80%, and I'm happy. I'm really happy. I can write off the 20% and live with it. And you know, I'll probably get quite a few, you know, comments in the comment section saying, yeah, but I'm happy that my watch is going up, but this is amazing. I think if you do that, you've missed the point of my video. The point of my video is that there are ways to look at the Rolex sports models now, as an investor or as a real watch person. And if you say you look at them as an investment through being a watch person, then yeah, that's great. But if you're looking at them as an investment, you're not going to wear them as much, are you? But let me know, guys, what you think about that. I'd be interested to find out what you think. I need to cut this video quite short because I'm waiting for my room service to come and bring my my half-grilled chicken. So let me know what you think. I think it's quite interesting there. You know, some of the points I've brought up, and you know, just some of the streets I've been walking around the last couple of weeks. You know, just to sort of summarize, again, if I was wearing a $13,000 Hulk or Rolex Hulk, it doesn't make me feel comfortable. You know, if you're staying in a hotel which is, you know, not so great, leaving that watch in a safety deposit box, again, a responsibility. I mean, even last year I went away to Indonesia. I was doing waterfall jumping, 10 meter jumps, 15-meter jumps, 7-meter jumps. It was deep there. It was about 8 meters deep, and that would have been an amazing experience for my Submariner. Would have been a great experience. But your wrist hitting water from a 10-meter jump, do I want to test the Rolex Submariner clasp? Not really. I'd rather test the SKX clasp. I actually had the SKX on a NATO when I was doing that, but you know, again, I mean, you know, regardless of which watch it is, Breitling, Tudor, Rolex, I don't think maybe, okay, that's a bad example. People won't be doing waterfall jumping, but hey, if you're doing waterfall jumping in a Rolex, which if you lose you can buy again, that's better. If you do waterfall jumping in a Rolex Hulk or whatever, and you lose it and the insurance company pay you back and you can't get the watch again, then you'll really be gutted with yourself and upset with yourself. So anyway, I don't want to ramble too much. Let me guys know what you think in the comments section. Again, I love Rolex sports models. I'm a big fan of them. I just wanted to share my view on kind of maybe why I'm a little bit away from it now, and I guess inadvertently, whether Rolex wanted it or not, they've switched on my, as well as a lot of people's investor brain when it comes to these watches, and that's why there is so much flipping going on, and the protection and not wearing and not sort of limited enjoyment from the watches, because you know, everyone just wants to keep it in that plastic, and everyone just wants to see if it's the next Bitcoin and where does it end. But thanks for listening. I look forward to the comments. Thanks.